All right, guys, so this right here is the best shower system that I have ever installed. This is a KBRS shower system. In my opinion, it's the most DIY friendly or a contractor friendly, because if you're trying to train somebody how to do this, it doesn't take that much skill to actually install for the quality of the system that you get. So make sure that you're watching this video all the way through, because there are a couple steps that you have to hit in order to get a perfect install, but it's really not that hard. You can do it, I promise. All right, so you need to figure out where to start and kind of get a game plan for yourself. So when you're overlapping your wall board, it's very important that you have the right type of overlap. So if you have this panel that you're going to put down, you want to make sure that you do this one first and then this one, so you're that kind of overlap. So if, when the water is here, then it just runs right down. There's no seam that is going to force itself in. What we have to do first is this little skinny piece here that goes back here, and then this way. So then these pieces kind of get overlapped and covered. So let's get into it, starting with this piece first. All right, so the easiest way to cut your KBRS board, or honestly any board in general, is to use a table saw. All we're gonna do is put a bead of this adhesive right here, and then we're going to flip this board around and set it. Be generous with this stuff. See, so this has nice contact with our flange here. Now we're just going to get our washers and screw it in. This shape is nearly impossible to measure out nicely. So what we're going to use is create a stencil out of pieces of wood right here. I just had like a piece of 1x trim that I cut down, really, really skinny. And I'm going to hot glue it in place to figure out where, and then we'll just trace it. Alright, so let's check it out. So we got our piece. Come right in here. Skadoosh. Might need a little micro adjustments, but this is exactly what you want. So now we got to get our adhesive, put it in here, put it all along the bottom here, and get that nice little ooze out, and then screw this in. So watch it. Alright, so we're starting to do our top piece right here. We already did the side. It's very important that you pitch your waterproofing, which is this stuff, back into the tub or back into the shower itself, because if there's ever any water that gets behind the tile, if it's not pitched the right way, it's just going to pool there and kind of mold and mildew and do nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. So what you want to do is you want to pitch it. You could pitch it with your framing, but it was kind of difficult when we were framing out this wall. So here's our little trick. You take a little strip of wood that we were using to do our stencil, and I'm just going to put it right in the back here. Then I'm going to get my, this waterproofing. And now we have the right pitch. We have the pitch down into our tub. So all we have to do is add a little bit of waterproofer here, the sealant, and that's all you need. Bang. Next step here is to do the top piece over here. We have already pre-cut it. We're going to get a nice tight squeeze here, just like so, but we have to put the adhesive in first and kind of get that ooze out. So let's get the adhesive in. Bang, you see what I'm talking about with that ooze out? That ooze out game is right there. See that? So that makes it 100% waterproof for us. So now we're going to go ahead with our washers. The washers kind of go on here. You push them in. All right, so now we're just gonna get our screws. When you're screwing this in, you don't wanna go too far. You just wanna see it flex a little bit. Just like so. If you go too far, you're kind of puncturing this waterproofing layer. All right, so now what I found the best way to kind of smear this stuff is to grab a putty knife that you're going to throw away later. We have this 3-inch one. And then I'll just go sideways like this, one way. Then you can put it on its side and then go the other way. And then it kind of, you get that nice tight corner in there. All right, so we're getting ready to set our 2 side pieces here. And this is the most important seam in the entire shower build, because 99% of water leaks or anything that would ever happen will happen right here, because this is kind of where the shower sees the most stress. But the installation is exactly the same as you saw over there. All right, so now we're doing the side panel. When you're doing a panel like this that's touching the pan itself and it's touching the side, you have to put that adhesive in this corner and in here to make sure you're getting that same ooze out, because that is where it's getting all of this stuff waterproof. All right, so behind here is all of my mechanicals for the tub and kind of the P-trap, and the homeowner wants to make sure that he has access to that. So I'm about to cut this out. But this week, I'm also going to basically make this panel out of one piece of tile. It's going to have little magnet clips on it. It's going to look seamless. All you have to do is press on it and it'll pop right out. So if you want to see how I'm going to do that, make sure that you are following and subscribing down below. So this right here at the end is one of the most important steps. It's kind of that last layer of defense that you can put on here to make sure that your shower is absolutely perfect. So make sure that you don't skip this step and that you actually take your time with it. All right, so what we're doing here is in your system, in your shower system comes this 6-inch fabric. It's like this fiberglass fabric. And all you're doing is using this waterproofer. You're just kind of flooding these corners. Like this. You're going to flood these corners, the 90-degree corners here, and then you're putting that fabric right into it. And I mean, the corners are already 100% waterproof, but this is just that one more extra step that you will take to make sure that it will never leak. All right, guys, so we are all set. This is basically what it's going to look like for you guys. Make sure that it's bone dry before you do any type of tiling. We're going to be tiling here in 2 days, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on that video.